They're the ones that used to walk like Egyptians, but that song is called Hazy Shade of Winter. You heard it here on Zone Radio 88.5, the voice of the valley. Now, as you know, we've been doing these series of interviews with businesses in the valley, folk who are either in lockdown or coming out of lockdown or planning for post-lockdown or helping other people through lockdown. And a business such as that is a company called Recro. And the lady behind that is one of the most incredible people I've met. She is the most positive person. She always sees the glass as half full, never half empty. She has the most positive impact on all of us who know her and associate her with her, and her name is Claire Kolbe. Before I go any further, I also want to say that Claire has just been elected as the vice chair of the False Bait Business Network. So congratulations on that, Claire.
Thanks so much. What a lovely introduction.
There we go. That is Claire Kolbe. She, okay, so the reason we're doing these interviews, as you know, folks, is to give support to the businesses in the valley and hopefully get people to be dealing with the businesses in the valley. And Claire has one of those businesses, and it is called Recro, and just Recro, eh?
Recro Business Services.
Oh, okay. So there is a bit more there to it that I didn't see. Okay, Claire, tell us about your business.
So we are accountants, auditors, tax advisors. So I'm a chartered accountant and a registered auditor, and I've got, yeah, studied for a long time. I've got a team of accountants and bookkeepers that assist us. So basically we work with, you know, from small sole proprietors and individual tax returns right up to businesses that need support or need a CA's input in their monthly accounts or annually. Yeah, or from tax structuring to keeping people compliant. And then what I'm really passionate about is working with business owners to use their financials, to read their financials better and to make better decisions in their business so that they can thrive instead of just surviving month to month.
All right, but lockdown, how's that affected you?
Yeah, so lockdown, I don't think any business has not been challenged by lockdown. I keep on just saying praise of gratitude because probably about a year and a half ago, we really decided to refocus and start going digital. So we invested in a lot of digital systems, Dropbox, Xero, Sage, Asana, a lot of things that supported us, but that were on the cloud. And then other than that, we've got a lot of systems and processes that work in our businesses, meeting rhythms going. So to actually move from working in an office to working at home, although we had to do practical things like get laptops and extra screens and some desks for some staff, it wasn't as challenging as it might be had we not been prepared in that way. So we've upped our communication a lot with staff members. You're not seeing them in the office, so we have WhatsApp groups that we keep in touch with and, you know, share a little bit of light-hearted stuff every day. We still have our regular meeting rhythms and stuff to keep in touch. And, you know, a big challenge is communication. So we just make sure that we are communicating more effectively. But on the whole, the staff, I'm really proud of my staff and what they've brought to the table. And yeah, just the gratitude that they've also had because they've got a job and because we have been able to carry on, and the dedication and commitment that they've shown. So yeah, it's affected us, definitely. Some cash flow wise, clients can't pay, but in terms of the team working, we're very grateful to have been able to carry on working throughout.
It's been a tough time for businesses like yourselves, who are very much like Zone Radio, who are dependent on those clients who have sort of regular fees sort of structures. It's not like your business is a retail outlet where you're dependent upon feet. You're dependent upon feet going through the businesses of your clients. And when that shuts down, they start to struggle, and it puts you under pressure. The one thing I will say about you, though, Claire, is that you've been rather innovative in how you have kept yourself positive and how you have tried to keep your clients, your staff, and those people around you positive. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you stay so positive. I don't know that you've ever had a bad day in your life. But how do you focus on staying so positive and so and functioning that way?
So I think essentially we've all got a choice in how we want to live our lives, and I choose to be happy most of the times. I have my days and I have my moments where I do break down, and at the beginning of lockdown and that I've had heartbreaking conversations with people. It's like, and it has got to me when, you know, people just don't know what to do. They have to retrain staff, and it really did get to me a lot. The starving people, the malnutrition, and I kind of had to get to a point where I was like, okay, cool, you know what? If I don't guard my mindset, because that's the most important thing in keeping going, I cannot be the best person for my clients, for my staff, and for my family. So I kind of just started blocking out not reading the stats, not like engaging in any of these like debates and stuff, because I knew it wasn't actually healthy for me. And then I also make sure that I engage with people that are uplifting and positive. I've been attending a lot of webinars and, you know, being encouraged by people and businesses that are pivoting so amazingly and are being so creative through this crisis. And then I can share that also with my clients and also just encourage them as well. Yeah, so I think essentially it's a choice, and also to choose to guard your mindset. That's, I think, what been the biggest challenge for me during lockdown, but it's something that you kind of have to do. I'm not losing this battle. I didn't build a business for 10 years to have some stupid little lockdown kind of crush me. So,
well, I don't think that it has. It certainly hasn't.
No.
I want to come back to some of the other things that you've done, because you've been rather innovative, and you haven't been afraid of sharing the innovations. And for argument's sake, the Zoom interviews that you guys do at the network, that was, you set that up, didn't you?
Which of the Zoom interviews?
The Zoom meetings and those kinds of things. You had to discover that kind of technology for yourself, and you've used it and shared it with others.
Yes. So I was just commenting to a client the other day. I think in the beginning of February, I had my first Zoom experience of Zoom. And it was, I mean, in those 2 weeks, so when Cyril first announced, you know, the isolation thing, you just had to know you knew it was coming, the lockdown at some point. So we just used those 2 weeks to prepare everything. So because I was just asking everyone, how do we do this, and finding information, like Lindy and I were like, okay, let's just get this digital. And we've been wanting to move some things digital already. And it was a perfect opportunity to actually progress in some of those areas. So it was obvious for us that everyone responded and accepted it, and
Well, I'll tell you this for nothing. The fact that you and I are having this conversation on Zoom, and that we've had a host of other conversations on Zoom in a similar fashion, is thanks to you, because until then I didn't know what Zoom was or how it worked or how it could be deployed. And so I thank you for that. I don't know who Daily and Partners are. Have you ever heard about Dailies and Partners?
The name rings a bell.
Okay, so Maureen, I think you're going to have to elaborate on your question a little bit, because she says, thanks for the interview. Are they like Daily and Partners? I need somebody of my own for advice, etc. So you need to elaborate on them. I can tell you that essentially they are an accounting practice. That's the kind of basis of what they do. They do auditing, they do tax, they do accounting, and they do consulting. Just break down that consulting a little bit more.
So for us, compliance is the foundation of what you're doing. You need to make sure you're compliant with SARS. You need to have your books up to date. You need to have the proper data in. So I just say, so typically when we engage a client, there's a period of between 3 to 6 months. We look at, making sure your data is right, because you put bad data in, you're just going to get bad data out when you analyze it. And then we have a look at, so how can we structure your management reports and that better, so that you're actually getting more meaningful information? For example, what are all your revenue streams that you're bringing in your business? And are you measuring the different revenue streams? Where do you need to be marketing more? When do you need to be marketing? Maybe April's a low month for you. Maybe then you need to look at, you need to be advertising more in February or March for a particular stream of revenue. So depending on the client, it changes, but we've done this with lawyers, we've done this with a gym, we've done this with service center, you know, a couple of things. So that's just looking at the revenue. Then we look at, okay, what are you spending money on in terms of marketing? What is your return on investment in terms of marketing and what you're getting for that? You don't measure something, you know, you can't do anything with it. So we've helped businesses with KPIs. So KPIs overall as a business, what are your most important measurements in your business? And then also KPIs with staff. What are their job
descriptions? Let me just stop you right there. Tell people what a KPI is.
Oh, key performance indicator.
Okay, all right.
Okay. So basic key performance indicators for business would be what's your sales, what's your bank balance, and what is your collections month to date. You want to be knowing that, and then you also want to be knowing how many leads are coming in, how many quotes have I generated, and how many new clients have I taken on board. Those are for my business and most businesses, the key KPIs, and then they will vary depending on what you're doing. So that's just a little bit of consulting stuff we do. I've helped people look at, you know, productivity for staff. Like, I love measuring things, so you can hear I'm passionate about this. So those are the kind of things we work with business owners for. I like working with business owners for, other than the normal compliance to just keep you, you know, out of trouble with anyone.
Okay, so it's not just that you will, in fact, your starting point is the consulting, and then you work to the audit, tax, and accounting, because you need those things up front in order to structure how you're going to do sort of tax and accounting and auditing. Yeah,
so we have your compliance foundation, and then you can do your consulting, and then you can see also in that, is your structure right? Is it maybe too complicated? Because some people put these really complicated structures in place that don't actually add value, but some lawyer or financial advisors come up with something for them and they thought it was a good idea, but they can't maintain it. But in some cases it works. So look at your taxes, look at your structuring, look at all those other things as well as it is part of the consulting thing.
All right. So Maureen says here on the WhatsApp, she says tax advice is what she's going to need soon. And she's a little bit scared of Zoom, and so what we'll do, Maureen, is we will make sure that you get Claire's telephone number. We will WhatsApp that to you here on the WhatsApp, and you can give her a call and have a chat to her, and she will advise you as to what she can offer as far as a tax is concerned, and we'll do it that way rather than because she's a little bit worried about the security of Zoom, although that seems to sort of itself out, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think before even, as I've seen, before even that story broke, they'd already done the meeting passwords and the waiting rooms and all of that. So, yeah, but if you don't want to use Zoom, there's a couple of other options as well. There's Google Hangouts. There's, you can, you know, have a Skype phone call with someone, WhatsApp call, what's the other one? Microsoft Teams. There's quite a few different options for that. Okay. But I think Zoom is used so much that, I don't know, I just think that the owners and the, you know, for their marketing and for their own reputation, they're probably investing quite a lot into security.
Well, they have to, and they were caught short, to be fair. They were caught short. I mean, this thing, they hit them very, very quickly. At one, I mean, 3 months ago, nobody knew what Zoom was. And now all of a sudden, everybody's using it. And yeah, they've had a couple of bombing sessions, but outside of that, I think they've sorted them out. Now, I want to come back to this. I said that Claire always sees the glass as half full and never half empty. When we went into lockdown, I don't know whether you started it then or whether it was something that you did before, but I've seen a lot of these notifications coming through called Coffee with Claire. Was this something that you started? And it's a wonderful concept, and I'm going to ask, and I certainly hope that you're going to continue to do it after lockdown. because it's a wonderful concept. Is it something that you started during lockdown to try and keep people positive, to try and share that positive energy that you have in abundance? Explain to people what Coffee with Claire is about.
So, I mean, that's been one of the blessings of lockdown. It kicked me out of my comfort zone. And one of the things we're looking at is, well, you know, you're out of your comfort zone anyway. So just like, you know, go for it. And I actually I did a couple of presentations, and then we said, well, what other value can we give to our clients? Because I can't be phoning all my clients every week. You know, it's just, I just don't have the capacity to do that. So what we decided is we'd set aside a half an hour to 40-minute session every Wednesday morning, and which is Coffee with Claire. And the first couple were just, you know, any question you have, because there were a lot of questions around the TERS benefits and the COVID funding and how do we claim and all of that, which we dealt with. And then we've dealt with, you know, a session on cash flows, because cash flow and budgeting and knowing what you got to spend at this time is quite critical, especially now a lot of businesses are opening. They need to know, like, you know, how many staff can I bring back and all of that. And then we've had a couple of guests on as well. So it's kind of like just a value add for our clients and other people if they want to check us out and, you know, see what we're about. We've had financial advisor and a business rescue specialist, marketing fundi, and we've got quite a few really nice speakers coming up. So we started actually beginning of May, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And the people that have participated in that have got a lot of benefit. And yeah, we're saving them all on our YouTube channel, so people that missed a session can go and have a look and check out what they missed. But it also provides a chance for people to ask any questions around a particular topic and discuss it.
I think it's an amazing concept, and it's one of those things that somebody looked at, how can I make my business relevant during this lockdown period? And you've used that to remain relevant, albeit the fact that your clients may not be able to pay as they could before. You have remained relevant in their mind, and of course, when things get better, they're going to stick with you, and hopefully it will bring you new business as well. In terms of lockdown, and as somebody who is au fait and very good at this kind of planning and the consulting and that type of thing, small businesses that have gone to the wall in this time, that are starting to look at either opening up, or they've just opened up, or they're waiting for phase one before they can open up, what kind of advice would you give them?
I think, it's quite different depending on what business it is. I think a lot of people have evaluated what they're spending money on. I know a lot of people have cut rentals and are maybe working from home instead of, you know, incurring the big cost of an office. And a lot of superfluous stuff that they've been spending money on. I think so. Looking at your cash flow and your budget, a lot of people, you know, I would advising when we went into lockdown, you've got to know how long you can survive without money or with, you know, reduced money coming in, and then obviously applying for all the funding that you can. So at this moment, knowing you need to know your cash flow, you need to keep on top of, you know, what's selling, what's not selling. You don't want to be launching new products necessarily at the moment, unless they are the type of products that are kind of selling, like your masks and I would say thermometers, but there's such a oversupply of thermometers on the market at the moment. So yeah, I think that ship has sailed. But you got to be careful. You know, there's certain things you don't want to be doing now. You don't really want to be going into new commitments and new projects and things like that. You can investigate them and maybe start doing a bit of research, but I wouldn't be launching fully into things like that. I think for the next 2-3 months, I certainly see the sentiment that most people are still treading very carefully. But it is also all about client service. You want to keep close to your clients. You want to make sure you're communicating. You want to make sure your clients know that you're open, if you are open. And then, you know, you're going to have to work like a lot of business owners. Everyone started their business and you worked all hours. I've been working long hours. you know, I usually take leave also this time of year. I haven't got the opportunity to do that either. And I think it's back to that kind of that hard slog that you did when you started your business to get through this. The most important thing as a business owner right now is to make sure your business survives. And sometimes that is very tough decisions, very uncomfortable decisions and unpopular decisions, but that's actually your main goal, is to get your business through this.
So I would suggest, folks, if you're listening to us right now and you are a small business and you either coming out of lockdown or you're planning to relaunch phase 1, or you've just been set back, this is a company that you can talk to. This is a lady who knows about these things, and I've seen this firsthand, how she's guided people through legislation. She's guided people through how to apply for funding, where the funding is available, what you need to do to be compliant in order to apply for that funding. And Judy has said here, she keeps referring to funding. Does she know any company that got funding? There's a question.
So pretty much all of our clients got paid out for their TERS funds because we do keep in compliance in that. So, and then quite a few have been paid out for the SAFT funding, which is the one you apply for through your bank. Some of the others, I'm not too sure about many of the other funds yet, but I know those two definitely people have been paid out already for those.
And these are people you helped with these things?
Yeah. And also I just want to add, because there's a bit of a misconception out there about this whole thing about if you're a white-owned business, you can't get anything. That's not true. There is one specific fund that was it is a Black Development Fund. That's how it initiated, and that's kind of been blown up a bit. But I mean, I certainly haven't seen with people applying any measure of racism applied in the funding applications. So I would just, some people do get rejected. Some of the funds got filled like really, really quickly. They were way oversubscribed, and that does happen. And they also needed to look at people that you can't just apply for funding and then, the loan's got to be paid back in 5 years. So you couldn't be a business that was struggling before lockdown, kind of almost closing before lockdown. They're not going to give the money to you because they want to be investing in a business that is going to grow and, give more employment to South Africans and things like that. So unfortunately, people kind of tend to grasp on these sensationalist kind of ideas, but that's certainly not what I've seen in practice in terms of people that have been applying for these things. And I've been encouraging people, just apply, you've got nothing to lose.
Yeah, I do know that, but I also know a lot of businesses who have approached the banks directly, and the banks have kind of just either not got back to them or either not had the funds, like they say, closed and this type of stuff. If people are struggling with that, it's worth talking to you, because you're going to give them that kind of advice, and you either can help them or you're going to say to them, listen, you're wasting your time.
Yeah, so I mean, also with that is like you needed to have a tax clearance. So you can't really expect the government to be helping you out with funding when you haven't paid your taxes for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So people have been coming up with compliance issues, which is also interesting because people that we've been on top of, like your financials are late, whatever, they've suddenly woken up, oh, really, do all this stuff now quickly because I need funding. We don't have too many clients like that, but there were one or two. But that has also happened. So, I mean, I had a conversation with a guy the other day, and I was like, when it came to the end of it, he hadn't complied with taxes. And I'm like, well, you haven't obeyed the law for 5 years.
Yeah, but what about a business? What about a business like, for argument's sake, Zone Radio? Zone Radio is a brand new business, launched in November. So there hasn't been a full tax year, and there isn't anything that one can be compliant with. Does that disqualify a business like ours?
No.
Okay.
Because you will still be compliant.
Yeah.
Because you're not non-compliant. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Claire, is there any parting message that you want to leave with folk about either your business or about their business?
So I see a lot of people are kind of writing off 2020. Okay, 2020, the year that doesn't count, whatever. I think people need to remember there's still 7 months left of this year.
Yeah.
and you've still got 7 months to, you know, make it fantastic. And it's all up to you. And like business owners are amazing. We have got some incredible clients which really also just inspire me with their determination and their, you know, the challenges that they surmount. There are still people doing really well in this economy, in your industry, I can guarantee it. So, and what I've seen over the years is always about the attitude of the business owner. So yeah, you can do it. I mean, you just need to get your mindset right and get your business through. And it's not comfortable at all. I mean, owning a business, if you wanted a comfortable life, you don't want to be owning a business. That's not not comfort, but it sure is one hell of an adventure. And the freedoms in that, you know, are great. So I think business owners are also, they are heroes. And I don't think that they are always acknowledged for as much of an amazing contribution that they give to society in terms of all the people they employ, all the little families that they look after. So they really are amazing. They have incredible leadership skills and they are incredible businesses out there. So I think business owners also need to sometimes give themselves a pat on the back that they are doing a good job, and keep going.
As you are and as you have. If you want to get hold of Claire on the website, it's www.recro.co.za, and you can pop onto their website. There's a great introduction to the team, who's involved and who does what. All their services are there. There's a blog, there's their contact details, everything is there, and you can email admin@recro.co.za if you want more information. Claire, thank you so much for being with us this afternoon and for being the positive light that you have been for so many people through your coffees with Claire's and just the interaction that people have had with you. It means a lot. It means a lot to people. And as you talk about businesses being heroes, we want to tell you that we think that you and the way that you've conducted yourself for everybody throughout this lockdown period, you are an absolute hero. So thank you for spending time with us this afternoon.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you so much, Richard. Thank you for having me. Yeah, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
You're very, very welcome. And we reserve a song for special ladies, and I'm going to play it now. It's the Commodores, and once, twice, 3 times a lady.
Thanks.